Before I even start this video, I just want to preface by letting you guys know where I stand on the most important topic of all. I want to say that Sincere really is one of the most kind and gentle-hearted people I've ever watched on national television. There's a lot of bad rep out there trying to smear his name, but he truly is like a one of a kind. He is genuine, nice, sincere, even like this man is quite literally everything you could ever want in a person. Like Melanie should be grateful, lucky. She's lucky. She should be happy that Sincere is even in her life because I would kill to be in her shoes. Yeah, he's not perfect, but no one is. He's only human. There's only so much he can do. And to these people who want to talk bad on him, you guys just don't know what it's like to walk a day in his shoes. So before we start, I just want to say, as a creator on this platform, there are just certain things. I'm speaking to Sincere one-on-one right now because I heard a thing or two that, you know, he's tapped in. Like he really knows what people be saying about him. So before I even start this, I just want to say, Sincere, what I'm about to talk about isn't directed towards you. I'm not attacking you. I'm just interacting with the discourse that is sullying your name. So everything I say from this moment onwards that pertains to you is a joke. I jest. It's all hypotheticals. It's not real. Damn it. It might even be AI. So it's not me. Let's get into it. I don't know what is on my screen right now. We've been trying to tell y'all Sincere runs this villa. What do you guys, like, this is the shit I'm talking about. Like, why is this shit starting off with, like, what's wrong with people, man? Sincere's a great guy, but because, like I said, I'm a creator on this platform, I must interact with this. The Love Island discourse has been getting progressively worse and worse. This on my screen lets you know just how bad it's becoming. They're trying to taint my gracious Lord, Sincere of all people. Like come on, guys. He's up there with top 5 greatest human beings of all time. Let's stop this shit. The main difference I'm doing today is I've been trying to avoid TikTok because TikTok really does have the most brain dead people on the planet. But I said screw it, typed in Love Island USA Season 8 in the search bar and scrolled, and wow. I was correct. It's worse than almost anything I've seen on Instagram, and I scrolled on there for a total of 30 minutes. First, I'm going to show you what I saw on Twitter because Twitter is the worst. Because you can just talk on Twitter and hide your face. If you want to make a video on someone on TikTok, you kind of have to show who you are. And a lot of these people know they can get away with saying dumb shit if it can't get traced back to them. This post right here is the dumbest of them all. Sincere, he's laughing in the back because Zach is tickling his tummy. Like, come on, guys, let's stop this bullshit, man. In this next one, I will address it. It's a video of Melanie being happy before entering the villa, and someone retweets it and says, "We low-key, like, he low-key gotta die, don't he?" I don't know who they're talking about right now. I know it's not Sincere. You know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, he's done some things wrong. Like I said before, he's human. We all make mistakes. Hell, you watching this video have probably made more mistakes than Sincere himself. But let's say this is about Sincere, which is, it's obviously not. Yeah, he is. Let's say I'm agreeing with them and he's terrible, which I don't agree with, by the way. Sincere is not bad in any way, shape, or form. He is fantastic. He is perfect. He is pure. He is sincere. All right? Let's get that out of the... But let's say this is him hypothetically. 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 He cannot force Melanie to stay with her. He isn't forcing Melanie to stay with her. Melanie is staying with this man because he is fine shit. In the words of Anaya, he's fine shit. I think she's just so infatuated by this man's appearance that she doesn't think she can do better. I'm gonna sound a bit crazy. We all know Melanie used to be big by now, right? Do I want to search this up? It's not important. We all know Melanie used to be a plus-size model. And I think she may still have the demeanor or the mindset of someone who is still in that plus-sized body. She doesn't have the highest self-esteem. Look at her face. She's gorgeous. I'm not going to say she can find someone who looks better than Sincere, because Sincere is genuinely a great looking guy, but she can definitely find someone around his realm who can treat her infinitely better. But in this villa, I don't think she's attracted to anyone else. So she's just stuck by Sincere because he was the most attractive person in front of her face. This is a smear campaign though, so I'm not going for this shit. This next one right here really made me realize that a KCFC, we don't stand a chance. We don't stand it. I thought we had killers off of what happened a few episodes ago when they were voted safe. Nah, the core four, they got some real demons in that fan base. This girl said, I did my part in voting. Let me rewatch the episode. I just skimmed through to watch my winners again. And it's a picture of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 separate devices, all voting for the core four. No Casey and Tiara in here. You get one vote. This person gets 13. We cannot compete. We can't. And if us being well-adjusted humans with jobs and lives cost Casey and Tiara $100,000, it's the sacrifice I'm willing to take, because how can you compete with shit like this? 13 devices? They got real shooters in this fan base, and unfortunately, there's nothing we can do. We did our part to get Casey and Tiara this far because I genuinely think they are the most compatible couple. In my eyes, no bias aside, they look like an actual couple, so I think they deserve the money. Bryce and Trinity, yeah, they're cool, but they seem more like friends. No deep conversations, no being vulnerable, no this. The most vulnerable it gets with them is, I'm kind of scared Bryce will go to Casa and find a girl that's his type. I'm black and I just don't want him to find a brunette that fits him and he just leaves me for her. Yeah, that's cool, but apart from that, it's just shallow through and through. This man, Bryce, didn't set up one singular date for her inside the villa in 6 weeks. Casey did that shit with Tiara to ask her to be his girlfriend. Bryce did it when the Love Island producers sent him on a yacht date. Casey did that shit himself. That's real appreciation right there. That's real, I'm going to go out of my way to do this. I'm not going to wait for the circumstances to put me in that scenario. I'm going to do this myself. Zach closed things off with Kata while sitting on a couch having a regular conversation. Casey made an engaging scavenger hunt where he was the Now, I'll get to that in a little bit. Okay, the next one. It's getting to a certain point where they're doing rituals now. This girl said, okay, let's make some shake. Someone replied, end this show now, because this is getting scary. What do you mean you are doing essentially voodoo to trap Melanie in Sincere's infinite Tsukiyomi? She's trying to trap Melanie into the depths of hell with no way out. Obviously, I'm not calling Sincere the devil, of course. He is a fantastic guy. He's the best guy ever. I will never speak ill of Sincere ever in my life. And if you ever see me say anything bad of him, do not forget it is AI, all right? This is nuts. And then right here, people are talking about, I see so many people voting for Casey and TT. Did we forget? And I just want to remind people that Sincere and Melanie are on this list. Did we forget? Did we forget what? Are you also forgetting that Sincere has dragged Melanie through the deepest depths of hell for the past 5 weeks? But it's a problem when Casey does it for a few days. Sincere's been doing it nonstop, but he gets a pass. Someone made a video Do I have the video somewhere? Right here. This video right here.
Scared of Sincere or something because he told them to shut up and everybody said his tape played and everybody just looking like, say something, get mad, argue, go off on him like y'all was just going off on everybody else, bruh.
Sincere must have like baggage, like you know how what's it called again? Blackmail. He must have some really like what's the word? He must have footage on the producers, the people on the island, and even the fans. He must have everyone's nudes in a safe somewhere, and he let them know, you speak ill of me, I post it. You speak ill of me, you die. The way the girls were on Casey's nutsack, they were on his nutsack like they were his pubic hair. But when Sincere's video played of him doing the objectively worst actions, he was being a sleazebag through and lied to everyone about it. The girls, the guys, and Melanie. Everyone, he lied to everybody. And everyone sat there, mouths shut. All of a sudden, Trinity got nothing to say. All of a sudden, Kada got nothing to say. When Sincere was angry at them and told them to stop, I'm not talking to y'all. Anaya said, come on, guys, let him speak. Let him talk. When it's Casey getting cut off, we're not going to let Casey say shit. We're not trying to hear you talk. Kill yourself. When Sincere wants to speak, all right, everyone. 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. Fingers on your lips. Everyone listen. We listen and we don't judge. Head ass. This man must have some power I'm not aware of. And the power is probably being an attractive, light-skinned man. He is Dominican, of course. Like that girl said in the previous one, yeah, Sincere's a liar, but so what? All men lie. We're not gagged by that fucking idiot. Jesus Christ. Why are they only... If it's supposed to be, did we not forget, why not just put Kenzie and Dylan in here? Yeah, Kenzie has also done stuff that isn't the best, but they aren't as bad as what Sincere has done. Obviously, Sincere is a great person. He's a great guy. But these fans, it's a cult. For some reason, they have this core 4 mentality in their head because everyone else is like a side character to them. It's the core 4 and extras. I don't even think they're voting for the guys who are attached to the girls. They're just voting for the girls to potentially be the ones to win this money, but are forgetting that there's still a man who is gonna get half of that money. The past 2 times, the people, I think every single season, they've split the money. You're potentially giving a jackass a chance to win $50,000, but when it's KC, it's, come on, guys, did we forget? Grow up, man. Now we're starting with this girl made a thread. Thread of Casey from Love Island USA, mistreating the women of this season and being the type of man no woman wants to date. Manipulative, entitled, and red-pilled. And she made a long list, and we're gonna go through it together because I haven't went through it yet. If the clips don't play in this video, it's because they have strucken it down. So I will explain each video after the video is done playing. So if I explain it twice, it's just how it is. I'm doing it just in case. The first one is Casey laughing at his ex sobbing with a group of people showing a complete lack of compassion. This is the clip where after the recoupling speech from Casa Amor, I'll just let it play first and then I'll explain.
Y'all be acting like y'all fucking married in 2 days. Like, what the fuck are y'all talking about?
And they're fucking laughing. This shit is a fucking joke. They're fucking laughing. I'm actually pissed the fuck off. They're fucking laughing. Don't. This shit's not even fucking funny. I'm not... They're fucking laughing. Like, they're taking me as a fucking joke. I do not want to be here. I want to go home.
No, we're not going home.
I do not want to be here anymore. I'm not even fucking joking. I want to go home.
Let's go upstairs.
So after this, she just begins to cry, go on the floor, break down, and just Melanie tries to hype her up, say fuck Casey, whatever. In this clip, it's where Parmita, after the recoupling speech post Casa Amor happened, and Parmita says, why are people here acting like they are married? And people start to laugh. That's objectively funny. They've known each other for 3 weeks and they've been moving like exploring outside of your relationship is a cardinal sin. And the boys have kind of had to adhere to those rules that were quietly set by the women. So that joke was genuinely funny because it's like we shouldn't be laughing at this, but it's funny because it's true. And Anaya internalizes that as they're laughing at me when no one said her name. You know what they say? If the shoe fits, wear it. She doesn't even know what they're talking about because she's too far away to hear anything. She just hears laughter, and if you were laughing while she is sad, you were inherently wrong. She doesn't know what's going on over there, but to her, why are they laughing at me? This is main character syndrome. She doesn't know what's going on over there. They could be laughing at her. They could be. But the fact that she doesn't know and by default interprets it as they are laughing at me. Why are they laughing at me? To the point where she gets pissed just shows a level of narcissism that never gets checked by any of the girls. Melanie just starts to hype her up. She does say they're not laughing at you, but she then proceeds by saying, fuck Casey. When Casey didn't say anything, he laughed at something they didn't hear. Whatever. That was proof number 1. Proof number 2, continuing to mock her the next day while she's down, making fun of the breakfast someone makes her since she's not in a couple now. Since she's now not in a couple, I feel like I'm dyslexic right now.
Naya,
Yeah?
got breakfast for you.
Oh my gosh, you're so sweet. At least someone cares.
Morning. Shit ain't like that fake ass omelet.
She didn't like that fake ass omelet is what Sincere just said.
What's on her? I'll be somewhere going crazy. I'll be stuck.
So the comment he made wasn't directed towards anyone because what fake ass omelet am I seeing? There's no. You see how these people aren't watching what you're watching? Anaya doesn't even have an omelet on her plate. Are those waffles and fruit and a coffee? Casey didn't say anything that pertains to do with Anaya, but this woman interpreted that as he's continuing to mock her by making fun of the breakfast someone else made her. Second piece of evidence, useless once again. The next one, I'm popping so I'm not going to open the door for you. This is the episode where Casey and Anaya talked about the standards that they have for a relationship, like what they want the men and women to do. And this is what happens.
I'm trying to say
Honestly,
my generation is
I'm really excited.
Oh.
But how do you feel about like this
She thought he was saying
or do
that.
you feel, yeah, or do you feel like
I
you
feel
should
good.
explore a little bit
I
more?
feel
She was laughing, babe.
Like I really,
She was like-
I really like you.
I like you too.
What are you like looking for?
I'm very big on like fairy tales, and I really wanted to see it. If I could like find me like a Prince Charming suit.
She almost threw up.
I don't like how you did
I
that.
feel like I want to be like.
What does that mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like that's just about like how the culture shifted for.
yeah, it's so
Like,
sad. I know.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like I'm popping, so I'm not gonna open the door for you.
Oh gosh.
You know what I mean? But it ain't. No, that's not what I'm saying. But like,
Yeah, he literally says this to reference how the culture has shifted. He's talking about how people used to be chivalrous, but this new age that we're in is to the point where, oh, I want to be courted as well, so I'm not going to open your door. That's what he's referencing. And he literally says, I'm not talking about me. Then he proceeds to talk about her. He talks about, yeah, they're not going to put their jackets on the floor for you to step over because that's a bit extra. But then they proceed to talk about how he'll open every door for her, how he'll help her down the stairs and stuff like that. And even Anaya agrees to the jacket on the floor part because that's excessive. We're wearing shoes for a reason. Let's step on this water.
Like, that's
There
not
are
real.
certain extents like I feel like
Yeah.
should be like met.
So give me some examples of chivalry for you.
Like holding the door for me, like
Okay.
holding my hand when I'm walking down.
Being on the right side of the sidewalk.
You being okay.
Like, do you see how they agreed on every single thing in this video? But this girl she framed it as, I'm popping, so I'm not gonna open doors for you. Evidence number 3, null and void, useless. Number 4, as one of the girls, Melanie was visibly upset to the point of sleeping outside. He tells people that she's doing it for attention once again, showing a lack of a lack of compassion. Oh my goodness, I'm tired as hell.
You know, she actually like cared and she just sad. She don't want to sleep with nobody. But at the same time, it's like she did it for attention, bro. He gives a little bit of fuck, but he don't give a fuck.
And he said, I think right here, he did say what he said right here, but I think this is the point where it's like, this is super early on, so I don't remember the complete context of this, so I don't really know what to say. He did say this, she's doing it for attention, but I don't know what happened here. Is Soul in this? Is he mad? Since Corbin is here, does that mean Soul is here? I don't really know the context of the scene. This is what he said, but because the context isn't here, I don't really know what to say for this. If he was malicious, then bad job, Casey, I guess. But the scene just lacks context. I don't know what's going on here. But this cycle has repeated. She's repeatedly went outside to sleep in the daybeds or in soul ties every time she's been mad at Sincere or not on good terms with him. I'm not going to say it's for attention, but it's a tired cycle. If you don't want to sleep on the same bed with this guy anymore, recouple, and you'll never have to do it again. But it's because she keeps going outside and coming back to the same bed as him the very next day. It gets to a point where people start saying, all right, bro, do you fuck with him or not? Like, this cycle has repeated. This is like episode 3, 4, because Corbin's here. It has to be super early on. And Gabriel's still in the villa. It has to be super early on. The cycle has began here, and where I am today on episode 30, 31, the same thing is still happening. It's a tired cycle. I'm not going to say it's for attention, but it's a tired cycle. So I guess evidence number 4 is meh. It's good, but the full context isn't there, so I guess it's somewhat viable. Number 5. Calling Anaya to come over to him like she's a dog, showing a lack of respect. Anaya is walking somewhere. Casey wants to talk to her, and he's already sitting in a place where people speak. If calling someone over to come to you is a lack of respect, if that's someone treating you like a dog, you're not going to make it anywhere in life. Yo, come here. Hey, don't treat me like I'm some dog. Did he whistle at her? You know, I've been in a position where someone whistled at me to get my attention. And that's when I was like, whoa. I'm not a dog. Don't whistle me down. But even then I was like, that whistle was kind of crisp. Yeah, don't whistle me down. But the fact that the whistle was so loud in a public environment that I heard them and I turned my head, I was like, damn, he whistled me down like a dog. But that shit low-key worked though. I said don't do that shit again, but that shit worked. Okay, let's watch the video.
Casey is willing to move
Let me not get, this video is like 2 minutes long. Let me just find the part where okay, right here.
Anaya,
What's up?
where you going?
I just want to sit. I just don't feel like talking right now.
That's him calling her like a dog and showing a lack of respect. Anaya, where are you going? Hey, where are you going? Whoa, don't speak to her like she's some animal, brother. Show some respect. Good Lord, man. This thread is looking more and more nasty as I go. Number 6, her mocking Melanie for being anxious and calling her a dumbass. He's mocking Melanie because Melanie is being nosy once again because Sincere is talking to another girl. And he's calling her a dumbass because why are you peeking when you know he's cheating? This is what black people do. We kind of like make fun of people. It's non-malicious. It's like if I see you doing the same shit over and over again, man, look at your dumb ass, bruh. With your dumb ass, dog. With your, when I'm at the gym with my little brother, I show him a workout, and then he does it completely incorrect. Like I didn't just demonstrate it to him 30 seconds earlier. He'll do it wrong. I say, bro, look at your dumb ass, bro. Are you getting CTE from football? Am I degrading this man? No, I'm joking with a friend. This is Casey, the same man that pulled Melanie earlier on in the season after Melanie kissed Corbin and Sincere back to back in that one challenge. He was honest with her. He said, hey, Melanie, I fuck with you, but you're bugging. This is how people of color speak. Honestly, it's not just people of color. This is how people who are friends talk to each other. This isn't malicious, but I'll play the video.
Look at Mel, look at Mel. So dumbass.
Like, he didn't say she's a dumbass. He said, look at Mel. She's speaking over with your dumbass. That's literally funny as fuck. What are you talking about, bruh? If you're a person, if you're just any person with any type of seasoned bone inside your body, you'd understand that this isn't malicious in any way, shape, or form. So 5 out of 6 of them, dog shit. Number 7, pressuring Anaya to be sexual with him and mocking her for not doing so. Good Lord, I haven't seen this ever, but let's see.
But I ain't gonna lie, me and I ain't done shit.
As soon as the lights turn off, bro, all I see is Naya like this.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I told her about that shit. I was like,
sleep, bro.
I told her I was like, I'm a very touchy person.
Yeah.
Him telling Anaya he is, yes, the grandma comment was uncalled for, and I've spoken about that multiple times in several videos. You cannot rush someone's timeline for comfortability. If they're not comfortable with you, they are not comfortable with you. There's nothing you can do on your end apart from keep putting in the time and effort and give them space to be ready when it's time for them to be ready. You can't force someone to be comfortable enough to want to kiss and cuddle you in bed. I've said this multiple times before. But him saying that isn't him pressuring her. Him telling her he's a person that requires physical intimacy isn't him pressuring her. That's like saying when Trinity asked Bryce to be more physical or affectionate with him, she was pressuring him into touching her. That's not how it goes. You tell your person who you're with your love languages and see if they're willing to adjust for you, because that's what relationships are. A whole bunch of micro adjustments so you guys can fit perfectly together like a puzzle piece. This isn't pressuring someone. It's having an open dialogue with them. And even though he said it to her, Anaya still said no, which means he clearly didn't pressure her enough for her to leave and go tell somebody else, hey man, Sincere's freaky ass wants me to fuck him tonight. She never said that shit. Why? Because he clearly didn't pressure her. Anaya has went to every girl about every single gripe she's had with KC, yet we've never seen a gripe about this topic right here. Why? Because he did not pressure her. 6 out of 7. Bad. Number 8. I'm not going to be begging for a kiss, as if he's entitled to a woman's body. The only bad thing Casey said here was the corny ass, my stock finna go up when I get back. But my brother, no one gives a fuck about your stock. What is this? Are we in high school? Hey, my girlfriend's a baddie. Everyone's gonna love this. We don't give a fuck. All right? If you're there for yourself, speak about yourself. Fuck you and your stock, my nigga. We don't care. But him saying he doesn't have to beg for kisses isn't him saying he's entitled to a woman's body. It means he doesn't have to get on his hands and knees for affection. There's literally a video I had here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. There's a video of Casey and TT just like kissing. And it's right here. Casey and TT were just like, oh shit, this is the wrong one. Do I have it ready? I don't have it ready, bro. Fuck. It's a video of Casey and TT just kissing on like a regular calm basis. And people were talking about like that's all he wanted. He doesn't want to fuck her. He doesn't know her yet. It's just physical touch is a sign of, oh, this person wants me. It doesn't have to be let's make out or let's have sex right here and now. But touching someone is like a constant reassurance to the person that, oh, they're still physically attracted to me in a certain way. Them wanting to touch me, hug me, hold me, this and that. They still want me, and they show me that every day. Why is it when he says it, he's entitled to a woman's body, but when the other girls like Trinity say it, they're not saying that she's entitled to Bryce's body? This is a smear campaign on Casey. Not half, 95% of this whole thread so far has been nothing but bullshit. It's a literal smear campaign. Jesus Christ. Number 9. This one's nasty, and I'm going to expound on this earlier. It's when Casey was thinking about, not thinking about, it's when he was talking about when he's going to make Tiara his girlfriend, and he says,
she's literally shown me that she's worthy to be my girl, like, dead ass. Like, she just literally shown me time and time again.
And the girl replies by saying, it's a quote of what he just said, she's shown me she's worthy to be my girl, and said, and that really flew out of his mouth with a straight face. Casey, you are not anyone's prize. And the girl replied by saying, thinks women have to prove themselves to him and that he's the prize. I want everyone to know, if you get into any relationship ever, you and the person you were with are both equally the prize in said relationship, because you have to be the prize in the other person's eyes for them to want to be with you long term. They have to feel like they've accomplished something by being with you. That's what a relationship is. I'm glad this person has deemed me worthy to be with them, and you want to uphold that for as long as possible. Some people take it as why do you have to prove? You have to prove yourself to people every single day. When you are with your parents after the age of 18, both parties are now proving to each other as to why they should be in this scenario. Your parents are constantly proving themselves to you to see if they are worthy to remain in your life. The same way your friends are constantly proving to you to see if they're worthy to remain in your lives. If out of nowhere, one of your friends became a vicious racist, they are no longer worthy of being in your life because they are now a bigot. They have bigoted views. They are no longer worthy to be in your life if you are a well-informed person. That is dumb. Everyone proves themselves to everybody every single day. When you go to work, you are proving yourself to your boss and other coworkers every single day. Why is it that in dating, only women can say a man is worthy? Oh, I'm not going out with a man if he's not worthy of my time. Why do you think that only women have to prove themselves to men? You know that. Why do you only think that men have to prove themselves to women? Women also have to prove themselves to men. The difference is the men just don't say it. The only odd thing here is Casey vocalizing, which isn't even odd. It's just an unspoken rule with men. We don't talk about them proving themselves. We just listen, and then we watch, and then we act accordingly. We rarely say it. He's just saying the quiet part out loud. Everyone is constantly being auditioned by the person they are with, because that is how you maintain a high standard of relationships. If your boyfriend suddenly stops treating you well, he is no longer worthy of being your boyfriend. If your girlfriend suddenly stops treating you well, she is no longer worthy of being your girlfriend. That is not a slight. It's not a diss. It's how you maintain a high standard. Why are women the only ones allowed to have a standard when it comes to dating? Because women can say stuff like this and no one bats an eye. It's the same. Both genders are the same. What part of this do people not get? The people who believe shit like this have clearly never been in a long-term healthy relationship. Both parties are the prize. Being in a relationship, you and the other person should be in a constant competition to make each other's lives easier. But to these people, it's women are the prize. Why is he talking like he's the prize? He is the prize, and so is Tiara. The same way that when Tiara said yes to being his girlfriend, he said that he is honored to be her first real boyfriend. That means he's glad that she's deemed She's deemed that he's worthy of being her first boyfriend. He is honored. He's humbled by it. But they don't speak about that shit. They only speak about him saying that she's worthy, but they don't speak about him being grateful that she deemed him worthy as well. Bullshit. Number 10. Saying the cast of boys are getting what they should be getting during a challenge with kissing and twerking, once again showing entitled to women's body. Before this, he was degrading them, calling them high school girls that don't understand his power. First of all, Corbin is the one that called them high school girls, and then KC said the girls over there don't understand his powers because he wasn't getting as much attention as he wanted per se, which I believe once again is corny as fuck. No one gives a fuck about your imaginary powers, buddy. Aura, if you have to say you have aura, you don't have aura. I'm sorry to tell you. If you need to mention your aura, it was never there to begin with. Tasteless comment once again. But him saying they're getting what we should be getting is that the boys over there are getting more affection than the boys from the main cast were getting, which isn't inherently wrong, but it's not him being entitled to their body. It's just him saying, damn, why couldn't we get that? But to him, what I'd say earlier, you are not entitled to someone's affection. You can always say, damn, like, I was over there for 3 weeks. Why wasn't I getting any of that? Fair. Because before they left the Casa Amor, Casey and Anaya were genuinely good, but he still wasn't getting any of that, which I don't blame Anaya for. But as one of the party who wants physical affection and you aren't getting it, you'll question to yourself, damn, like, what am I doing wrong? But to him, I'll say what I said to before. You cannot rush someone's comfortability with you. With some people, you may be comfortable with them after one day, and with other people, it may take a few months. You do not rush the timelines. It either is there or it isn't. It's not just you who gets to pick. There are two people there, and both parties need to consent. That's the end of the thread. 9 out of 10 things here were absolute BS. Like I said before, it is a smear campaign. They hate KC so much. I have not seen any of these about Sincere, by the way. It's like this man has the mind controlled. Is this like the light-skinned version of a Snow Bunny mind control? Sincere has done no wrong and he's just like with a monocle. Yeah, I get he's attractive and he's light-skinned, but there's no way they hate Melanie this much that they'll root for Sincere like he's paying their bills or something. Is Sincere their dad? I know they want to fuck Sincere, but he's a nobody to them. But they want to defend him as bad as the girls in the villa do. It makes no sense. Next up is this video, and this girl's saying exactly what I'm saying. If that boy makes the finals, the audience of this show is about to change. And the video says, why folks don't want KC defenders to win.
I do think there's a gap in understanding in like why people don't really want KC and TT to win Love Island. And I think some people think it's just because people just hate KC and they just hate Tierra and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, sure, right? Like, sure, they got the haters. But more than that, beyond that, I think people just don't like the fan base. I don't think they like what the people have now named KC defenders. Because KC defenders are full of self-proclaimed nice guys, incels, red pill men in the manosphere, hell, boy moms, a bunch of different niche subgroups of misogynists, whether those are male misogynists or women who have fallen victim to like internalized misogyny.
You see how every single person who defends KC is wrong somehow? It's either the men are misogyny or it's the women who've fallen victim to misogyny. She doesn't say anything ever about the Melanie defenders, the people who are rooting for Melanie, even though she's in the most toxic relationship in the villa. She doesn't say anything about Trinity, who is quite literally the stupidest girl in the villa. She does to stick her little 2 cents into everything while having the least amount of insight possible. She doesn't say anything about anyone except for KC defenders. When every single group of supporters have people who are wrong involved, but KC defenders are the only ones who are at fault. I want to go back and see if she's called anyone a incel. I know she said red pill, but I want to see if she called anyone an incel.
Red pill men in the manosphere, boy moms.
Yeah, everyone's at fault except for, I don't know what to say here. Everyone who likes KC is in the wrong. Let's see the rest of the video, but this is not looking good.
Learned or are walking around with unchecked internalized misogyny. And I know sometimes when people hear misogyny, they just get scared and they're like, what? I don't hate women. I'm not beating up nobody. And no, you're probably not. But your actions, your thoughts, your ideologies, beliefs do lead to a world in which hating women is okay. It's probably what you're perpetuating. And sometimes you don't even notice it, right? Like, I'm not saying that all of this is conscious behavior. Sometimes it's subconscious because people don't just like him, right? People don't just like him and TT. People like what he did to Anaya. People like the idea of him feeling vindicated.
I have not seen anyone. First of all, what exactly did he do to Anaya? There's no explanation. What did he do to her? He came back from Casa Amor and said, I chose me. That's what people liked. They didn't like Anaya crying. Who wants to see some random person on television cry? Boy or girl, we're not here for that shit. They like that he finally chose himself. So what do they talk? People, they like internalize what happens to these characters because they put themselves, because they like see themselves in them. If anything wrong or sad or bad happens to them, they move like it happened to themselves. So they say shit like this. People, they like what KC did to Anaya when he didn't do anything. He chose himself. If him choosing himself is him doing something red-pilled to Anaya, we've lost the plot. We've lost it.
Like the idea that he should be championed, not just for his decision to choose TT, but for the ways in which he hurt Anaya. They will say he did not disrespect Anaya. He did not hurt her feelings. Even if he did hurt her feelings, it doesn't matter because she was annoying. That's what she gets. She's stupid. She's an idiot. She's this, she's that. She never liked black men, right? You see how it goes from...
She's just making baseless claims now. No evidence. I didn't see anyone call her stupid. I'm sure people did. I haven't seen it, and I've been on this all day and all night. Didn't see no one call her an idiot. She brings up he didn't disrespect her without actual evidence of him disrespecting her, just making a bunch of baseless claims. I'm showing you guys proof of what I'm seeing. She's just talking.
Oh, he didn't do anything wrong at all, to actually, here's everything that she did wrong instead, and I'm going to attack her for it. That is what a lot of his fan base has done.
That happens in every fan base. But there are also people like me who are just listing out what both parties did wrong and saying both parties are equally at fault and they were just incompatible. Every fan base, bro, the core 4 girls fan base is full of nothing but dick riders. These girls in the villa and the core 4 girls have been acting like bullies to everyone else. They told TT, shut up, we're not talking to you. That's bully behavior. The only good part is TT stood up and said she's not taking that shit. When Sincere told the girls he's not talking to them, bro, they went up in a frenzy like they didn't say the same thing to Tiara. When it happens to them, they just start ganging up on Sincere now. Whoa. They literally replied the exact same way Tiara replied to them. Kata said, we don't care, we're talking to you. The exact same words Tiara used. But when Tiara used those words, they said, why is she putting herself in this business? Mind your business. But when it happens to them and Sincere's not talking to them and he says, I'm not talking to y'all, now it's, we don't care, we're talking to you. You see how when it happens to them, they're allowed to react that way. But when it happens to Tiara, they want her to shut up and mind her business. They want her to sit over there and be quiet. Every single fan base has a bunch of mindless defenders. So why is KC's fan base the only one being attacked? I'm not going to deny every single thing she's saying. It's just it's only one person being attacked when it happens all around. Why is KC being so singled out? It's literally a hate train, I'm telling you.
Done the championing him for his behavior, and then somehow it spills into why his behavior should be rewarded and why that harm is actually doing good. Quote unquote, harm doing good, harm doing good. And we're talking about this behavior on a show that girls have called Barbie Land, right? That we have said has historically catered to women and has been about the women, about the women's journey to find love. It's been about the women's friendships that they build. The guys are cool, right? They may be funny, they may be charming, they may be everything in between, but A lot of you aren't going to NBA basketball games to see the cheerleaders, are you?
No. We go to WNBA games to watch the women play. The same way most sports have now male and female teams, Love Island has male and female contestants, which means, hear me out now, it's about every single person on the island. I've watched almost every single season. It's not just about the girls' experience. Yes, the audience has been mostly women because the show is about love. And I guess you can say women find stuff about love more appealing than men. But the show is about both parties. Girls are just able to get away with more gang and cliquey behavior than boys. Because when boys get into those type of scenarios, it can lead to physical altercations. The girls are allowed to do that shit because no one's ever gonna step up and defend themselves. You tell a man, if a man tells another man, hey, shut up, I'm not talking to you, mind your business, they might fight. Because don't talk to me like that. Who the fuck are you talking to? Bitch, I'm TT. I'm joking. But if a girl says that to another girl, there's a 95% chance nothing's going to happen. And that's why boys know what their words mean to other men. So they're very careful with aggressive verbiage. With women, it's not like that. So they're allowed to fire so much visceral, so many visceral words at other people, knowing that they're going to be all right. They're going to be safe and nothing's going to happen to them. With men, it's not that they're expecting to fight in this villa, even though in one season of Love Island UK, someone deadass almost got in a fight. It's not that they're expecting something to happen. It's just that after life most men have experienced outside of the villa, they know that you say the wrong words to another man, you are liable to get smacked. You are liable to get your ass whooped. And that's just something we just carry everywhere we go in life. I'm not going to talk to another man crazy. What do you mean? Shut up. We're not talking to you. Mind your business. Brother, I hope I'm bigger than that nigga. Because he might come here and beat my fucking ass, boy. Yeah, he might get sent home, but I'm going to be the first Love Island contestant to get my ass whooped. Next few episodes, they're going to ask why my lips are big and bumpy. Why my face is covered in lumps. I don't want to be that nigga, so I'm going to watch what I say, not just out of pure self-preservation, but it's also out of respect because he's here for the same reason I'm here. Tierra was there for the same reason the other girls were there, but they got jumped for finding a connection. This video is kind of long. I guess I'll finish it off. I'll just be quiet.
Are great plus, but they're not the point. That's sort of what the energy of Love Island was. And now, if Casey is to win, right, it'll then set a precedent of what behavior we think is okay from a man, whether he apologizes for it or not. Because mind you, his fan base, his defenders are saying that he had absolutely nothing to apologize for. They are actually saying the production made him apologize and he didn't mean it. And if they were to talk to him, they would tell him, actually, what did you apologize for? You should have never said anything. But a precedent will be set for behavior that we think is okay for men. And beyond that, the core audience will then shift. It will eventually no longer be a show that is catered towards women. It will be a show that is catered towards his defenders. It'll be a show that's catered towards incels, folks in the manosphere, red pill men, boy mom, folks running around with unchecked misogyny, folks who don't want it checked, folks.
So does this mean if Trinity wins the show, the show is gonna be catered toward the pink-pilled women, the period cis women? Because that's what Trinity is. Trinity's a pretty airhead. She's a bird brain. But because she wants to hit people with a one-liner, she's trying to be a boss bitch on camera. If she wins the show, does that set a precedent to what the show is going to be catered to go on in the future? Of course not. Sorry. I literally burp. You can make a compilation of me burping on it doesn't matter. Just because someone wins doesn't mean it sets a precedent. And Amaya won the show last season. What precedent was set based off her getting literally scammed by that guy, Brian? She got scammed by Brian. What precedent did that set? No precedent. Of course not. One season doesn't dictate the show going forward. And let's say it even does set the precedent for the show going forward. What does that have to do with the actual product? The fans online are the fans online. At the end of the day, who gives a fuck about their opinions? What does that have to do with the product of the show? It doesn't do anything. So what are we talking about? President. The creators of the show don't give a fuck. The more eyes watching, the better. They're getting paid. They're getting paid.
Who will tell you, girl, what are you talking about? Anywho, whatever. And you don't just lose the heart of the show. You further normalize behavior that we were trying to get together in other places anyways.
Yeah, she didn't speak a lick about anyone else's behavior. Trinity's bad behavior. Melanie's a cheater apologist behavior. Yeah, Cynthia's gonna cheat on me, but I'll let him come back home every single time. Is that not setting a precedent? If Melanie wins the show, isn't that setting a precedent that people like Sincere can just walk all over their couple, but as long as they know where home is, they can still win $100,000? That's not a precedent? If Zach is on that show and he's putting Kata in a relationship, in a situationship, and they win the show, that's not setting a precedent? But no, it's only setting a bad precedent when it's Casey. Because Casey's red, his fans are red pillars. So what the fuck are Sincere fans? What the fuck are Sincere fans? If Casey is so bad but Sincere is worse, what the fuck are Sincere fans? No answer, it's crickets. I'm telling you, this guy has light-skinned mind control on these people online, bro. What's next? Oh, my goodness. The profile picture is a picture of Casey with an X, like with a get rid of Casey. This woman makes a video saying, I don't give a fuck if Casey and TT are compatible. I'm not voting for a man who thinks women owe him sex. Casey has never said anything about anyone owing him sex. This is going to sound crazy. These are how rape allegations begin because they did call Casey a rapist. It's one thing for random people online to call you a rapist. As a black man, when white women start putting rape allegations on your name, brother, it might be over. It's no longer, yes, it wasn't funny before, but now this is like these words coming from this appearance right here on my screen are more than just damning. They can ruin you. He has never said any of this, yet this woman feels comfortable to say he is comfortable with thinking that women owe him sex when he's never said that. Let's scroll and see the comments. White women talking about black love. When did Casey say anyone owed him sex? Let's see the replies. He's literally red-pilled and is a fan of Kevin Samuels and said TT has proven to be worthy of him. Let's use our brains for once. So she did not answer the question. Fantastic. Let's see what someone else replied. Him calling a woman grandma because she didn't want to get physical with him. That's not him comfortable or him saying someone owes him sex. That's him wanting to get physical intimacy with someone. Touch someone, kiss someone, cuddle someone. Not everything physical means sex, but to these 13-year-olds online, that's what physical means. Oh my goodness. Next up is this one guy, the most pandering ass nigga on Instagram. Let's see what he has to say.
I feel bad for TT because I'm actually starting to like her. So I feel real bad for TT, but KC is gonna like do her so dirty once they out of the villa. Like,
he doesn't know any of them. So how does he know Casey is going to do her dirty? Did Casey take his girlfriend or something? Did Casey fuck his mom? Because why does this lame ass nigga have such a gripe with Casey? What do you mean he's gonna do her dirty outside? How do you know that? Yes, it's a possibility because it happens on every single season of Love Island. The couples leave the villa and they break up. That's most people who date aren't together forever. But why is he speaking of him doing her dirty? What if they just don't work outside? This man hates Casey for some odd reason.
Hey, am I praying on their downfall? Maybe. But this got nothing to do with TT, everything to do with KC, because I think the nigga scamming. I think the nigga been scamming since day one. I think he tried to scam with Anaya, but it didn't go his way. Anaya was talking back too much. So he found the motherfucker that, was able to shut up and let him do his thing. And, he's doing his thing. And if all you niggas wake up, snap out of it, you'll see that KC only fuck with TT because of the things that she can do for him. The nigga got that vote, and he was like, hey, wait. Put me back in, coach. I've been watching this shit for a long time, and nobody ever did that. I never seen that shit. Like a motherfucker from Casa Amor to boyfriend and girlfriend. Like, not even last season. They just did exclusive. Like, what the?
And he made two. If I go back, hopefully it's nothing crazy. Okay. He made 2 videos on Casey back to back. 2 videos in 24 hours on Casey. Did this man fuck his mother? What is going on? And what do you mean he's with Tiara because of what she can do for him? This man became the most hated man on national television based off that decision. What did that do for him? Idiots like this goofy ass, pandering ass nigga think they're cooking by making these videos like these that just pander to women. All the comments are just women. Go back to the last video. Comments is women, not a single nigga in here. He's just pandering to what the girls want to see because to the women who watch Love Island, KC is public enemy number 1. There's a reason why this guy has barely made any videos about Sincere. Because it's not resonating with the women the same way that KC hate videos are. He's a pandering ass Negro. What is Tiara doing for Casey? And Tiara doesn't shut up. Where is he getting this? During movie night, Tiara was calling out both parties equally. Tiara talks just as much as Anaya. The only difference is Tiara picks her battles wisely. She's not, because she doesn't have any ties with anyone in the villa, she doesn't dick ride anyone. She's impartial. So she can say, hey, the girls are having a double standard, but she can also point at Zach and Bryce and say, hey, don't let him say this shit because over there he was acting completely different. She's impartial, but he's saying he likes Tiara because he just shuts up. What did him coupling up with Anaya do for him? Now with Anaya, what would Tiara do for him? If he was playing it safe, he would have stayed with Anaya because when he was with Anaya, he was voted amongst the top couples in America for the show. If he was really playing it safe, he would have just shut up and hugged it till the very end. But because he chose to leave, lets you know that he actually doesn't care about the money or what happens. He cares about doing what's best for him, and that is Tiara. Lame ass niggas like him make me sick to my stomach. Next up is the whole discourse on Casey saying Tiara is now worthy of being his girlfriend. And now the comments are filled with people saying, oh, who does he think he is? This and that. Someone says, I mean to be someone's boyfriend or girlfriend, you have to be worthy, right? That's why y'all be having kids with nobody. And someone says, like, why are they mad a person values themselves? Which is fair. The fact that some people, hold on, I think I have a whole bunch saved right here. Yeah, the comments were, so you have to prove yourself first before someone finds you worthy to date you? Wow, I can see why you're supporting him. Why would you not want to be with someone with standards? Proving yourself means the person you're chasing has a certain bar that you have to meet to even enter their premises. If you don't have to prove yourself to be with someone, there is no bar. There are no standards. You would never walk around saying you have no standards, right? Would you let a homeless guy walk up to you and you would just date them? Of course not. Why? Because they don't meet your standards. They aren't worthy of being with you. Why is it when Casey says it, it's a problem? So what happens when that person stops showing you their worth? Does that mean their relationship is over? Mind you, the worth he has been talking about is how the girl has been fighting for him, defending him and all that. Does that mean when TT stops doing that, the relationship is over? Let me dissect this one by one. So what happens when the person stops showing their worth? Does that mean the relationship is over? It doesn't mean it's over right away, but when someone shows you that they cannot keep up the behavior that led to them being in the relationship, you are no longer worthy of being here. If we used to be very physically intimate, you used to touch me, kiss me, this and that, you used to touch your partner, kiss your partner all the time, and then you stop doing that, and that's something that they require in a partner. If you stop doing that, you are no longer worthy of being their partner because to them, that is a non-negotiable. Yeah, you get a bit of leeway. That's why conversations are for. You bring it up, you ask them why have they stopped? Why have they slowed down on this aspect? And if they can bring that back up, you give them some leeway. But if they cannot meet your bar on certain non-negotiables, their relationship is over. That is not ridiculous. That's not crazy. If you meet someone who has a job and then they quit working because they don't want to work anymore, and then they rely on you to pay the bills, you are now free to say, this is no longer worth it for me. You are no longer worthy of being my boyfriend. I do not want to be with someone who is a bum. That is not ridiculous to say. You are no longer worthy to be with that person because you are lowering your standard and they don't have to meet you down there. Their bar is up here and they can leave it up here as long as they want to. If they want to come down, that's on them. But just because someone wants to keep their bar at a certain height doesn't mean you can say, oh, is that them being shallow? No, that's them protecting and preserving themselves. If they want to live the type of life that they live, they cannot attach themselves to people who lower their standard. Mind you, he only wants this. Mind you, the worth he has been talking about is how the girl has been fighting for him, defending him, and all that. It's not only because she was doing that for him, but her doing that for him is a sign that when he's in the right, which she was in the right when she was defending him, even though the masses may be against his decisions, she will be by his side no matter what. If he's in the wrong, she literally told the other girls, if you guys want to attack Casey for some wrong shit he do, go ahead. Go ahead. If he does something wrong, I'm not going to sit here and defend this nigga. But the fact that during recoupling night, Casey didn't do anything inherently wrong, he chose himself, and he was still getting ganged up on, that's when she decided to speak up because that is not fair and just. How is that fair that Casey isn't allowed to exercise his right of doing the Love Island experience his way for him? How is that fair for him to be getting attacked for a decision he made solely for himself? So she stood up against that. When he saw that, he liked it because that's conducive of someone who is a good partner. They will defend you even if the masses are against you, if the cause is just, and her cause was just. Next one. If you as a woman have to prove yourself to a man and feel comfortable doing so, you're cooked. These are why marriages end. Yes, I will say most of the times it is the man's fault. But why as a woman do you not think, if you're a girl and you want a man who's a certain caliber, do you not think you would want a woman who is also a certain caliber? You don't want a man who's up here but wants to fuck with anyone down here, right? No, you want a man who's picky. But being picky by default means your standards are up here. Proving yourself, it's not about proving yourself to a man. It's about proving yourself to someone who you think is suitable to be a potential partner. Why would you not want to show the person you're with that you can bring value to their life? Is that crazy? A relationship is literally, how can we come together to make each other's lives better? But to these people, the men should be the only ones who should be providing anything to the women, and the women should just exist. Let me open the comments right here because I would love to see what this is. What are you talking about? Everyone has to prove their worth in a relationship. Otherwise, why are you in it if that person is undeserving of your time and love? You prove worthy by being respectful. You prove worthy by being a respectful and caring partner. And the person replies once more, if you have to prove to someone that you're respectful and caring, that simply means they didn't think you were respecting and caring to begin with. No, proving yourself doesn't mean you're doing that one meme with the jester dancing in front of the queen. It doesn't mean you're showing or performing. They just watch how you move on a daily basis. And that's what proving yourself means. They don't ask you to perform a song and dance for them. They just observe your everyday behavior, how you treat them, how you treat your parents, how you treat your siblings, how you treat servers, customer service workers, how you treat waiters, how you treat everything, everyone, animals, this and that. And that's how they decide whether or not you are worthy. You don't have to do anything in specific to show them anything. They just observe you, and that's how they decide. There isn't one thing you can inherently do for them to be like, okay, that's enough. It's an amalgamation of what happens on a day-to-day basis that leads them to believing if you are worthy or not. It's not just one grand gesture, do or die type of shit. Good Lord, man. These people have clearly never been in long-term healthy relationships, and it shows. Everyone should be trying their... Why would you not want to show your partner that being with you is worthwhile? Is that crazy? Why would you not want your partner to know that being with you is a good long-term investment per se? It's a good decision to be with me because I can provide this for you the same way you provide this for me. Why is that? Why do people hate loving their partner? That's all it is. Being a good person to your partner is what makes them decide whether or not you're worthy. It's not that complicated. It's not that convoluted. Simply be a decent person and you were worthy. And that's all Tiara was. She didn't require as much reassurance. No bullshit. If Anaya didn't require, and I think it's because their lives were different, because Anaya did say she didn't want Casey to be as goofy. One, she's asking him to reassure her all the time. And two, she's asking him to like alter his personality for her, even though he just met her a few weeks ago. That's a lot to ask of someone you just met. And that's why I think they didn't work out. So he wasn't worthy of being with her the same way she wasn't worthy of being with him. He found someone else who met his parameters better. And that's why they're both equally worthy of each other. Like I brought up earlier, when she said yes to his proposal, he said he is honored to be her boyfriend. That means he is glad that she found him worthy of being a suitable partner. It goes both ways. Oh man. Everything Anaya wanted from him, he went out and did loudly for the next because she gave up the physical touch. LMAO. That's why I see through this nigga. They're not finna last outside the villa. It's so crazy how when women have non-negotiables or something in a relationship that they deeply desire, it's up to the man to make sure he meets that no matter the cause. Because like I said earlier, when Trinity said she wanted more physical affection from Bryce, the women told him, go tell him that so he can fix up. When Casey brings up the exact same scenario, but he's a man and Anaya's a girl, they're not saying he's doing all this because he found someone else to touch up on him. Your love language is your love language. Why would you want to be with someone who matches your love language to a T? That's why he's able to do this for Tiara and not Anaya. The same way Anaya got a lot more intimate with Carl faster than with KC was because Carl matched her on an emotional level a lot better than Casey. Carl listened better. He had better responses. He was more in tune with his emotions. So that led them to resonating better, which led to them having that faster physical connection that Casey wanted. Casey couldn't get there as fast as Carl because he wasn't as emotionally in tune as Carl is with his emotions. But they're not saying, oh my goodness, Anaya's easy because her and Carl were making out day one of Casa Amor. Of course not. It's a problem when Casey does it. When any other girl does it, it's cool. It makes no sense. And I hate the fact that people have me defending Casey so vehemently, but it's not that, like you guys have heard me say before, Casey's a performative ass nigga. When Casey came in this villa on day one during the Doors challenge, he said he chose the Doors with the plants because he thought it would get him the most women. He thought it was him being edgy and standing out, and it would get him the most amount of women. This nigga is performative by nature. He made a decision based off what he thought the women would like the most, not based off what he thought was the correct decision for him. Yes, he has plans and not a cat not a cat or a dog, but the fact that the first thing that came to his mind was, I did it for the ladies. Let me know he is performative. I don't fuck with that shit. But I don't even like him like that. But the fact that I'm defending him so much is solely because this smear campaign, I'm saying this word like a million times, this smear campaign against his name, it's nasty. He's in the same villa as Sincere. and Sincere gets none of it. It's all Casey. In the villa, outside the villa, online, it doesn't matter. Everyone's crosshairs are aimed at this man, and it makes no sense. Him and Anaya have apologized to each other and made up, but they're still trying to crucify this man. Why? We'll never know. Okay, this one person made a post saying, Caleb just said in the recent interview that Casey and TT knew each other before the villa, and they mentioned that they crossed paths. I think the person meant paths. They've crossed paths outside before. It's giving Shelly an ace. And this one person says, that explained why they look so comfortable with each other from day one. The first comment said, y'all believe just anything. Because this first quote is a lie. This person lied. And they ate that shit up. Like this girl right here in the first reply, Shelly, was so close to understanding compatibility. The same way Carl and Anaya got super comfortable super fast, but no one questioned it, is the same way that that Casey and Tiara got super comfortable super fast. They were simply a better fit. They are a better match. They are more compatible. These guys hate Casey so much that they will believe any quote that includes his name. This girl said, Casey being the only OG guy that hasn't had sex yet, but the core four and their fans said he's lustful. And this girl replied by saying, in his own words, me and TT have done everything. And it's a picture of TT laying on him in bed while they're fully closed, with the lights on. They perceive this as them having sex. Someone replied and they commented, so they had sex here? He wasn't even talking about anything sexual when he made that statement. Do these fans not know that the producers show people having sex? They won't show the entire scene, but they will literally, first they will show you them talking about it afterwards. Like the next morning when the couple is in bed, they will show you them talking about it. And then they will show you the people talking about what happened with their friends and whatnot. And they'll even sometimes blast our ears with the moans that is going on. I think a few days ago, they accidentally left a clip of Sincere and Melanie doing it in the hideaway because the door wasn't closed and they left a peek. They show us when people do shit like this so we can talk about it. The fact that there isn't anything to see means it didn't happen. But these people hate Casey and Tiara so much that they want to say that Casey only likes Tiara because she was easy and she let him fuck easily. This is it's just disingenuous. We've been here for over an hour. Don't know how, but it's time to move on to TikTok. So it's about to go from bad to worse. I really showed this one right here. Sincere, the video on Sincere. I got nothing wrong to say about that nigga, you know what I'm saying? Sincere's a good guy. Next up. Okay, let's watch. Let me rewind this real quick.
Villa girls were more mad about Casey bringing back TT than it was about the disrespect or the supposed disrespect. And these last couple episodes confirmed it for me. They were never really mad about the disrespect. They were fine with the disrespect because if Casey would have came back single and taken Anaya back, then they would have been fine with the disrespect. They were more mad because he did not come back single and he brought back TT. And it's very clear from the last couple episodes. The double standards in that villa is insane, and it really has made this cast unlikable to me, and I don't see myself supporting anything they do outside of the villa. It is crazy how Sincere had two long ass clips of him pathologically lying to the whole fucking villa. The whole villa was in shock at his pathological lying, to the point where Corbin was the only one to really call it out. Corbin and Parmita. Corbin, who is friends with Sincere, but he was like, bruh, you've been lying to the whole villa. Like, he's disgusted in the lies. However, it's a pass for everybody else. Like, are we fucking serious? ChatGPT Corbin is the only one making sense at this point. And they are still being apologists toward him. They are still pushing Melanie to stay with him. I
think that's about it. Her main point is they say it wasn't about Casey exploring and bringing back Tiara when it so obviously was. They just didn't like that Casey made a decision that displeased Anaya. This was Couples Island from the very beginning. The fact that he left one of the core four, They just didn't like that. She brings up Sincere again, and I really don't want to talk about Sincere for, just reasons I just can't explain. But I will say, the girls, I brought it up earlier, the girls had all the smoke for KC. They even had a lot of smoke for Corbin. But when Sincere's movie was playing, it was so quiet, you could hear a pin drop. They started apologizing for Sincere, the women. Melanie runs off. Anaya goes up to her and tells her, hey, yeah, he messed up, but do I believe he has genuine intentions for you? 100%. The next day, Melanie's in a very vulnerable state and isn't 100% sure whether or not she wants to go back to Sincere. And the girls tell him to give him a chance. Trinity tells her, give Sincere a chance. She doesn't know if she wants to sleep in the same bed with Sincere because it'll make him think that he just won her back already. But the girls tell her to just do it anyways. These aren't friends of Melanie's. They just love Sincere more than they like her. But the fact that Sincere's behavior is more deplorable than anything Casey has done. But for some odd reason, they do not want to hold this man accountable. Like this girl mentioned, Corbin was the only one who said anything to that man. He was the only one who was so hurt that he made a lasting decision based off what happened. He said he felt betrayed and backstabbed based off what he saw of the clips from movie night. And Melanie was like, why did Corbin say he felt betrayed and backstabbed? I'm the only one who should feel betrayed and backstabbed. No, you were not. As a friend, if I'm backing someone based off the words they tell me and I found out later on that they were lying to me, not only were they lying to their girlfriend, they're lying to me as well. I am also betrayed and backstabbed. Corbin was writing for this guy. He was defending this man. But now he finds out that this man was lying to him as well the entire time. He is betrayed and backstabbed. But to him, unlike Melanie, he's not forgiving that shit. Corbin literally, in front of Cynthia's face, tried to vote him out of the villa. Because he's not doing those stupid games that Melanie's doing. Oh, I forgive you. Fuck no. You lied to my face blatantly and repeatedly multiple times like I'm some type of idiot. We are not friends anymore. We're not. And I respect him for that. Next one. Good Lord. This one's a doozy, bro. Oh, man.
Way too many people. I am seeing way too many people, mainly men, but some of you women too, bringing up Trinity and how she doesn't know when to shut up. How she's constantly bringing up other people's battles, fighting other people's battles for them. How she's so argumentative and constantly asking questions and arguing with people when she's not part of the argument itself. You know why you all hate that shit? It's because you all hate questioners. You all hate people who aren't compliant and who don't shut the fuck up and let you all get away with your piece of shit behavior.
I would love to agree with this lady right here because what she's saying isn't inherently wrong. The only difference is that is not... Trinity is like half of that. Trinity, she chooses her battles based off who she's friends with. You see how I mentioned how she had zero smoke for Sincere? If she really didn't stand for any bullshit, any evil behavior, she would be on Sincere's neck the same way she was on Casey's neck. But the fact that we got to see her pick and choose her battles lets us know she doesn't really stand on that shit. She just stands on not wanting to see her best friend Anaya being hurt. It's not because of what the guy did per se. It's, oh, you hurt her feelings. We are now enemies. Because Trinity isn't like that with Melanie, she's not on Sincere's ass like she should be. So to me, she's fake. She's a fake demon. She's a fake demon. If she was really about it, she'd be on all of their necks. She'd be on Zach's neck. But she's only on Casey and Corbin's neck. She's not like that, bro. I'm telling you. She's not this righteous person.
I hate people like Trinity. Y'all like people who stay silent. Y'all like women who stay silent and stay in their place. Y'all like people who refuse to question anything. All like people who shut the fuck up and let you do whatever the hell you want. Those who let men do whatever the hell they want, unquestioned. Fuck that and fuck you. I love people like Trinity. I am people like Trinity.
You know, I was wondering why this girl was speaking with so much vitriol, but it's the fact that, like she just said, she sees herself in Trinity. If she truly saw herself in Trinity, would she not question, hey, why is Trinity not giving that same slack equally around the villa? Why is Trinity not pressing Melanie about her, hey, Melanie, if I'm your friend, you shouldn't go back to Sincere. But instead, she's pushing Melanie back into the hands of that super villain. She's not like that. She's not some altruistic person. She's just a loudmouthed bird-brained. She's bird-brained. She heard a dumbass lie from Bryce about some bullshit. Bryce told Trinity a lie about what Casey said earlier that day. And because Trinity, like I said, isn't this person this lady thinks she is, she didn't even go to speak to Casey to validate those claims. She believed what Bryce said, took at face value, and that led to her being rubbed the wrong way by Casey without any evidence. Anaya has been saying all this shit about Casey. Anaya's been telling Trinity, oh yeah, we're open. But she doesn't let Trinity know that, yeah, I'll say we're open, but my emotions will say otherwise. Yeah, I'll say we're open, but I'll cry in front of him the minute he mentions being open. She doesn't bring up the other aspect of the conversation. She just brings up the aspect to Trinity that will make herself look good. But Trinity, once again, doesn't go to Casey to get his side of the story. She gets one side and lets that build a narrative for herself to now lash out at the other people. That isn't an altruistic person. That isn't someone standing for what's right. That's someone standing for who they side with no matter what. And that is not fair. That is not just. That is being a dick rider. Oh, I must have been watching a different show then, because when Sincere got two. The only person in this villa to get two separate movie clips, by the way. When Sincere was doing his shit on movie night, she was awfully quiet. Maybe like my computer was muted. I hit that M button by accident, no noise was coming out, but her lips weren't moving on my screen. But maybe I watched the show incorrectly. I should go back and watch the real footage. But it seemed like she was awfully quiet to me when Sincere was making out with Soul a million times and then making out, with Amora a million times and then lying to Melanie about it 2 million times. Maybe I just watched it wrong. That's on me.
Treating the people you're in relationships with like shit.
They're just talking about Sincere. She's talking about Sincere right now. But the fact that she's not saying, hey, Trinity should step up and speak to Sincere. If she said Trinity should step up and speak to Sincere the same way she speaks to Casey, I would look at this claim with a bit more validity. But the fact that I know she is not going to do that lets me know she's exactly like Trinity. She stands up for those who she fucks with. She doesn't stand up for what's right. Oh my God, this woman doesn't even know it. My fault. I just hit my table. I know I apologize. She's speaking about Melanie and Sincere, but she is so clouded by hatred towards Casey that she can't even see it. Hey, Trinity, why don't you question Melanie, who's being clouded by rose-tinted glasses that are glued to your head? That Sincere might not be the one for you. Trinity has not asked Melanie that question one time. This girl is so close to getting it, but so far away.
and in love, and I'm gonna ask the fucking questions for them. And if you don't like that shit, maybe you should change your behavior so that you're not questioned by anybody on behavior that you obviously don't like answering for. Huh? Maybe that's common sense, right? I thought it was. But to many of you, no, it's not common sense. What's common sense to you all is entitlement. Entitlement and treating anybody however. You women treating other women however, unchecked. Treating your boyfriends however, unchecked. Letting them treat whoever, unchecked. Right? No, you're not entitled to that bullshit. If people like Trinity piss you the fuck off, maybe that's a sign for yourself to check yourself. Because what Trinity's doing is shedding light on the bullshit behavior that women are conditioned not to check.
The one woman in this villa who is being conditioned more than anyone is conveniently the one woman who Trinity doesn't say anything to. Well, anything that she should say to. She's actually pushing her back into the hands of the same man who is mentally abusing and tormenting her. If she really was this person this lady speaks of, this oh so great mystical lady who stands up for what's wrong, she speaks for truth and justice, she's Wonder Woman, she would be on Sincere's ass like a diaper, and she would be trying to set Melanie free. That's not what she's doing. She is a 22-year-old bird brain who was just loud and proud. That is all. She dick rides for Kada and Anaya, and that's it. These women, I hate seeing, oh my God, it's so cringe. People like this lady right here just don't want to look past that and saw her. If Trinity's really about this, why isn't she directing that anger to those who deserve it? Because even though Casey and Anaya are done, videos like this are still being made. Why is she not redirecting this towards Melanie and Sincere? It's always towards Casey and everything involving Casey. Next video. This video is when Casey asked Titi to be his girlfriend, and they're saying, oh, Anaya's so happy. Sarcastically, she's so happy for Casey and Titi. And I'm not gonna blame Anaya for making these faces right here. If I see someone ask someone they met a few weeks ago to be their girlfriend, I'm not gonna start smiling and shit. Like, yeah, it's wholesome, but I'm gonna be confused. The face she's making isn't like pissed off or like she's confused. The first comment says she still wants Casey. I don't think so. It's literally I guess. Y'all met 2 weeks ago, but I guess. If I was on Love Island and anyone asked anyone to be their girlfriend or boyfriend on this show, I would make the same reaction. It's been a month, fellas. Let's slow it the fuck down. You know what I'm saying? You don't know you guys have been living in a bubble. You may not even live in the same state. I'm pretty sure Casey and Tiara do, but a lot of these people don't live in the same state. Bryce and Trinity live on complete polar opposite ends of America, and now they're dating. I would be making the exact same face. I'm like, I don't know about that, bro. That's a 24-hour drive to see your partner. Let's slow down a little bit. Take it outside and try it for a few months before you make anything official. But this isn't her being annoyed or anything. She's confused, just like most people should be. Oh, Lord have mercy. In this one, they compare Anaya to Alandria from last season, and this is just false. Taylor was genuinely doing some fuck shit during that season, and he was genuinely leading Alandria on, and you can see that he didn't want her. I talked about this in my video I made on my main channel, but Taylor was legitimately using her to play the game. Alandria was repeatedly telling this man that she wants physical touch, she wants reassurance, she wants this and that, and you would see Taylor just be uninterested. Every time Casey and Anaya had a conversation, yeah, Casey would be making his weird idol animation faces, but Casey listens. Casey responds. But whenever Casey it was Casey's turn to speak on how he felt. Anaya, because she didn't like what she was hearing, wasn't trying to take in any of what he was saying. Let's hear what this woman has to say.
I'm already having deja vu.
I think Clark.
But there is no Nick to your Alandria. There is nobody that's gonna save you. So if you don't get to work right now, KC is overly going. Overly.
This is when Casey kissed someone at Casa Amor. She got nothing to say about Anaya kissing someone at Casa Amor the exact same day, of course. And she also has a Love Island water bottle. It is never this deep, I promise you. You guys cannot be this involved in the show. What do you mean you're buying their water bottles? Get you a regular Stanley cup like the rest of us normies. Jesus, a Love Island water bottle? We're losing it.
He is ready for the bombshell. Okay? He slammed that girl on the bed out of a challenge. It's been about,
And Anaya straddled Carl. And they were basically dry humping while making out. But once again, got nothing to say to Anaya, who's essentially doing the same thing Casey is doing. There's no reasoning people like this. They're not looking for linear lines of reasoning. They're not looking to be fair and impartial. They just want to push their agendas.
a couple hours. He's not thinking about you. And baby, I'm gonna need the producers to bring that TV back out again if the girls start crying. If the girls start crying and wasting time, I need them to get a reminder of what is going on across the way.
Nothing insightful is being said here. Let's go to the next video. Oh yeah, this is the part where, first of all, a 7-minute video calling Tierra weird. We're not doing this shit. This is where I spoke about it earlier when Casey said Melanie her dumbass because she was peeking over at Sincerely speaking to another girl, which was not malicious. It was just humor. That was funny. If you took this as disrespect, I am scared to see what your friend groups look like. Good Lord. If you and your friends cannot talk like this to each other or about each other, there's no hope.
Way too quick to be forgiving Tierra. Because I know I wasn't Yeah, y'all were way too quick to be forgiving Tierra. Because I know I wasn't hallucinating when I was hearing dumbass coming from Casey and you're over here laughing with your joke of a connection. And I don't give a crap about any forced production conversation. You can't be laughing at me when I'm literally bawling my eyes out 12 hours ago and then be calling yourself my friend. And mind you, for that chat that TT and Anaya had, Anaya was the one who pulled TT for that chat. And then it's TT running into the girls' dressing room saying Anaya and I love each other now, like you're actually out of your mind. People don't understand that it's actually okay to not be friends with people. You don't have to be at odds or be in active beef with people, but you actually don't need to be friends with everybody. Because if you sit Anaya down, like sit Anaya down, can you describe the way you feel about TT as I love this woman? Figure of speech or expression or not, I don't care. Exaggeration or not, I don't care. It's not by force. And for me with TT and Parmesan, I'm just like, I can't like a girl who is standing by so willingly and so vocally, who is standing by a man like that. Like, these guys are doubling and tripling down on their behavior, and like they're continuing in their comments, like even today, and you're a part of the problem. Even in that
That's
case.
so funny, bro. I literally had a list of insults the core four girls rattle off on a daily basis. They call Casey a bitch, a pussy, a coward, a child, a little boy, and a bitch ass, Kata almost called him the bitch ass nigga, but stopped herself. They fire these things off regularly. But the boys are jackasses for calling someone a dumbass. They called him a bitch. Imagine if any of the boys called any of the girls they called her a dumbass in a joking manner. Imagine any of the boys called a girl a bitch in a serious tone, the way the girls talk about these guys. During the recoupling night, the girls were calling Casey a dumbass to his face. But this girl didn't say anything wrong about, hey, maybe we shouldn't talk about someone else like that. Hey, it's okay to just not be friends with any of the main four girls because they're bullies. None of that shit happened. Casey says it jokingly, it's a problem. Girls are allowed to fire off so many words, but it's seen as there's no ill intent because they're girls. But when boys say anything with even a fraction of the weight, it's seen as malicious by default. And that's just, I know there's a history behind that, but this has nothing to do with history. This is just unfair behavior.
Challenge yesterday. I see so many people like, oh my God, Corbin's taking it on the chin, taking accountability. They had to drag that apology out of him. And then immediately after, when the next person had to go, he was questioning, what did I do wrong? Right after, mind you just apologized. So clearly it didn't even register what you were apologizing for, and you were only doing that because you felt like you had to. And that was even evidence today in making things right. He didn't even want to talk to Kenzie. He said he felt like he had to. He doesn't feel like he did anything wrong in the things that he was saying or the way that he treated or spoke to her. And that's only the stuff that she has seen. That's why I am so excited for tomorrow. Like the chaos, this villa might...
Nothing else here. This one was just a tweet. The meme is funny as fuck, but the tweet it relates to the last video. I just remember that Casey called Melanie a dumbass behind her back, and TT laughed, and Mel still has no idea. And then someone said, and how many of y'all called Mel a dumbass? Everyone has called Mel a dumbass to the point where it's an inside joke. Mel is a dumbass. Joke or not, is what she is. She calls herself a dumbass. But when Casey says it as an obvious joke, it's now a problem. That shit makes no fucking sense. Let's go.
Did we all clock it when Carl said, what would you do if you didn't have to worry about money to Anaya? Why would he say that? Unless, girl, he's trying to retire you. You don't have to work with Carl. Pick Carl, please!
Oh, this is what it's like when a black woman dates a non-black man. They fantasize any hypothetical that is thrown in a conversation. Corey had a similar discussion with Melanie about Melanie's dream date. What would you like to do on your dream date if anything was allowed? They didn't make a video like this saying, hey, why did Corey say that to Melanie? Corey's a black man. They're taking it at face value. It's a hypothetical, ended there. Because they romanticize mixed race relationships, anything someone who isn't black says to a black woman, it is, whoa, what do they mean by that? They're talking about he's secretly a millionaire. Is he rich? Brother, it's a hypothetical. That's a good question to ask someone you're talking to. In your ideal, good Lord, in your ideal world, if you did not have to worry about money, what type of life would you want to live? Is a good hypothetical to see what your partner would want to be if money wasn't a driving factor like it is in the world we live today. But they are internalizing it to the, oh my goodness, 50 Shades of Grey. This man must have all the money in the world. Is he Jeff Bezos' son or some dumb shit like that? It's disgusting, bro. Okay.
He's deceiving me? Is that Anaya up late night in the bedroom kissing Carl? It's the same woman that said that she was trying to take things slow and not trying to do stuff on live television when Casey...
I don't care about this shit right here. I'm just showing it to let people know that I'm not on anyone's side here. He's trying to say, oh, why is Anaya kissing up Carl so quickly but not giving it to Casey when he was wanting it so badly? And that's because you cannot dictate comfortability. The same way you can meet someone and feel like you've known them forever, you can know someone forever and feel like you don't know them at all. It happened to everyone. We've all met someone who have made us feel so comfortable so quick to the point where we started questioning ourselves, like, damn, should I be this comfortable this fast? Am I easy? But no, you being comfortable isn't a sign that anything is wrong. It's a sign that everything is right. She feels comfortable with Carl because he's meeting her exactly where she's at. With her and Casey, they were on completely different wavelengths, and that's why they just couldn't find a middle ground. She's up here emotionally, and Carl met her right there because he's very in tune with his emotions. He listens. She said with Carl, she feels more seen in her than she does than she's felt with Casey. And when I heard that, I didn't take that as a slight of Casey. I took that as oh wow, her and Carl really do resonate I'm happy for them. You saying something about someone you know and someone else you've been with doesn't automatically make it an insult or something disrespectful about the other person. You're just comparing lived situations you've experienced. There's nothing inherently wrong with that.
Yeah, that's true. Same woman that was fantasizing about Corbin when he was working out. Same woman that hopped up on Carl lapping soul ties and said that she was thinking about screwing him in that exact moment.
Yeah, I don't care about, I'm not gonna shame her for being comfortable enough to say or think any of these things. To me, it's allowed because everyone should be able to do basically everything that was said here if they're comfortable enough to do so. I'm not gonna hold anyone for this. I'm not with this shit. Let's see.
For all the Anaya fans, I want to say something. And don't shoot the messenger, because I know how you girls like to tussle. But that conversation with Zach about Carl and him asking Carl, like, what's your type? Did you peep his body language when Zach was like, so pretty much Anaya? Because I don't know if I'm reading too much into it, but watch this space. Let's run the clip.
Do you have a type? I think tall girls pretty attractive. I like athletic girls. Pretty much Anaya. Yeah. Dude, she's great.
Am I tripping? Yeah. 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 I don't know. That's your core 4. I don't know. I don't know about that. Yeah. Like, let's just hold on.
Yeah. Dude.
That's not weird to y'all.
People like her read way too much into everything. She's not accounting for the fact that Carl isn't the type of guy to talk about. The only time he's spoken about women outside of, he doesn't really talk about women. Like, he doesn't gossip about girls. He's only once said, oh, wow, everyone here is so attractive. Everyone here is so hot. The girls are stunning. Kata is stunning. He just described the type of girl he likes. Tall and athletic. And that's literally Anaya. Why is she saying, oh, that's weird because his face, when he was literally saying, yeah. Did she want him to jump up and do choreos while saying, Anaya's the one for me? Would that have convinced her? It's not about this random girl from TikTok. As long as he's able to show Anaya he likes her, then that's all that matters. I don't want some performative song and dance to prove it. The same way that Casey did that performative ass shit earlier on in the season. Oh, but you're a dark-skinned black woman. Y'all have it so tough. That's why I love y'all. Relax. Just say you're beautiful and get it over with. We don't need all this extra shit. Oh, I despise this one right here, bro. 3, 4. I'm not watching this whole video. Good 4 minutes long. These people be making shit. I'm talking like this video isn't going to be 2 hours long. Let's just watch the video.
The only person that felt like that conversation between Casey and Anaya was producer driven. There's a few reasons why. Am I the only person that felt like that conversation between Casey and Anaya was producer driven? There's a few reasons why I think that, but before I get to that, I will say I do genuinely think, like, when Anaya apologized to Casey about, standing up and yelling in his face during movie night, I think that was genuine because you could tell, like, she was genuinely bothered by that because she's not that type of girl to do stuff like that. And while me personally, I don't think she should have apologized because I don't think she did anything wrong. Like, Casey did get in her face. Well, he didn't get in her face, but he stood up yelling at her first. And if a man stand up yelling at me, I probably would have reacted worse. I'm not gonna lie. Like, what? Because that's a very much a sign of aggression to me. If a man get up standing up yelling, like, what are you gonna do? What is that? So I personally feel like she didn't have to apologize, but she did get a lot.
If a man stands up and yells at you from 9 feet away, it's my 3rd time doing this shit, but it must be done. If a man stands up and yells at you from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If a man gets up and yells at you from 9 feet away, that's a sign of aggression, right? Good Lord, man. These Bird Braid fans just show off their IQ every single day. She shouldn't have apologized for walking. He stood up and stayed in place to project his voice even more because the women kept talking over him. You stand up and you project your voice, and now your voice stands out from all that extra noise and ruckus. And Naya stood up not to explain herself like KC, she stood up in direct opposition of KC standing up. Fair enough. Stand up and say, why are you standing? I guess we're both standing. Not only did she stand up, she decided to walk 9 feet over to get in that man's face. He saw her coming and said, I'm not about to yell in a woman's face. I'm already getting fried. I'm not about to do this right now. Terrible look, sits down to de-escalate, puts his head down. This is done. I'm not about to yell in a woman's face. The way this girl's describing it is what Casey was avoiding. I'm not about to yell in a woman's face. For what? He sits down, puts his head down. And Naya keeps on going. She hunches over this man and starts yelling. She starts yelling on the top of his scalp, basically. And she said, Anaya shouldn't have apologized. That lets me know the type of person you are. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna make any insults. Someone told me bigotry of one is bigotry of all. So I have to stop making my fat insults for the sake of trying to be a better person. Bigotry of one is bigotry of all, so I must hug that. I'm not gonna say anything. Let's keep watching.
A discourse surrounding that, so I'm glad she did apologize in that regard, so people can shut up and stop giving her hell regarding that, even though in my opinion she was valid. And it's not even coming from a biased place. If a man stand up at you yelling, what are you supposed to do? Just take that disrespect? No, absolutely not. So she was valid in my eyes, but
I'm not biased, but she was valid in my eyes for standing up, walking over 9 feet. The man sits down and she keeps yelling in his face. I'm not biased, but she was completely valid for doing that. It's okay to say, I'm glad she stood up to stand her ground, but her walking over there was wrong. It's okay to say that, because if you said that, that would let me know that you aren't biased. He stood up so she could stand up. He didn't walk towards her, so why is she walking towards him? If you say that's okay, you are now showing your signs of biases. You were biased.
I am glad for the sake of discourse purposes and people trying to hold it over her head that she went ahead and apologized about it right away. So I felt like that was a genuine apology, but I felt like the actual conversation that Casey and Anaya had that next night, that felt producer driven to me. And the reason I think that, I feel like producers set them down after that whole movie night explosion because, for one, some of the main Love Island discourse has been between KC stands and Anaya stands, and it's just been a lot from both sides. And I feel like producers, of course, are seeing all that, and now that they're starting to dump people, and KC is likely to probably get dumped soon, they're like, okay, we need to get some of this discourse to die down. As we know, season 7 had a lot of hate coming out, and I feel.
Why would they want the discourse to die down? The discourse keeps more eyes on their show. The more people argue online, the more viewers go to watch to see what's going on. This woman is blowing smoke out of her ass. You see how Anaya's apology was valid? If I was her, I wouldn't have apologized, but I think her apology was sincere. But Casey's apology, I'm not biased, but I'm not buying his apology. It was fake. You know what's funny? Both parties of both haters have said the exact same thing, but on opposite sides. Anaya haters have said Anaya's apology was producer-driven, and Casey haters have said Casey's apology is producer-driven. Do these people not understand that you can not be on the best terms with someone, but still have the common decency to apologize just for the sake of resolution? Just because you wouldn't apologize doesn't mean they have to stoop down to your level. They're not you. They're better than you. And that's why they apologize, even if they don't need to. This girl is letting her biases leak out, and she cannot control it.
They want to make sure they do a better job this season with making sure it's not as much hate towards Islanders like it was last season. So I feel like they set both of them down. So, okay, we need you guys to go ahead and nip all this animosity out the butt. So I feel like they probably had an actual real conversation about everything off screen. And then the conversation we saw on TV tonight was something, they had to do, of course, for the cameras. So Yeah, that's my personal opinion because I don't know, it didn't feel.
And your opinion is loud and wrong. I mean, not loud. It's quiet and wrong. I don't care what it felt like to you. Unless you were told by production specifically, like they called you, they hit you up, Miss E. Brianna J. They called you, and because they just had to tell you because your opinion is so important, they called you and told you straight up, hey, this apology, we made them apologize. Because, you know, Casey's bum ass didn't want to apologize, but we told him, hey, we're going to send you home soon because the online discourse is getting too crazy. But before we pack your bags, go over there and apologize to little old Anaya. That's not what the fuck happened. You don't know what happened. So please don't talk about shit you're not sure of. This one is a compilation. I'm not going to play this shit because there's copyrighted music. But it's a compilation of Sincere saying, let me see if I can do it for a little bit. The edit is kind of nice. Like the edit itself is well done, but the intention behind the edit is nasty.
Okay, but guess what? If her video was shown first, it would have been the same shit.
Stopping right here before I get my video cooked. Why are they making edits on bully behavior? He's trying to explain. And she said, shut up, why are you speaking? Imagine if it was the other way around. Trinity was trying to explain herself and Sincere said, shut up, why are you speaking? This wouldn't be an edit. It would be the exact geolocation and X and Y coordinates of Sincere's home with an image of a missile coming down on it. Why are the women being like, what's the word, idolized? Is being like, I don't have the correct words for it. I'm getting tired. I've been here for a long time. But even they're in the comments, he's making no sense. How does the video order changes the different of levels of perspective? They're saying, why are you doing ahs, oohs, and ahs when Anaya's kissing someone? But when Casey's kissing someone, he's the worst person to ever walk on the earth. He's saying if Anaya's video went first and then Casey's went after, they wouldn't be able to talk to him as crazy because they just watched Anaya do it. That was the point he was trying to make. But because even the fans, like the Core 4, aren't trying to hear the guys out, they don't give a fuck about the intention behind the person's words. It's disgusting. The next one is another edit.
I'm speaking to you. I'm not talking to you, though. So stop talking to me. I'm talking to him.
They cut. There's a reason why this video has 300 likes. They cut the clip out before TT absolutely fried Trinity because they want to live in their own reality. And in their reality, Trinity is a boss girl. Trinity is a boss bitch. You cannot son Trinity. Trinity is their mother's. Period. Clocked it. Tierra absolutely fried her shit. Literally, it was embarrassing to the point where Trinity actually shut up because she got her shit cooked. But these people, these fans, they aren't a fan of the show. They're a fan of individuals on the show. And once they choose them, they're going to ride by them like their lives depend on it, which makes absolutely zero sense. You do not know these people. They are complete strangers to you. Why are you holding allegiances to people who aren't completely good? If they're wrong, it's okay to say they're wrong the same way if they do good, it's okay to say they've done good. You don't have to be completely biased toward a stranger. They would walk by you in the street and they wouldn't blink twice. Some of these people wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. But they're doing all this, shucking and jiving for strangers. Compose yourself, man. This next one, Casey is connivingly diabolical. This is the face of a man that is satisfied with the reaction he's getting from the woman he wanted to hurt. He's happy that Anaya was crying and emotional because it means she's fighting for him and he feels wanted. He doesn't need to feel wanted anymore because at this point, he already feels wanted by the only girl he wants, Tierra. This reaction isn't him smiling because he's happy seeing a woman he wanted to hurt be hurt. She's having this reaction because the girl he chose to bring back from Casa Amor is standing up for him. He literally said he doesn't feel good knowing that he made Anaya feel like that. But these people aren't watching what we're watching. They're not consuming what we're consuming. They live in their own alternate universe. You can't really have honest and fair discussions with people like this because what they conceive off of what they watch isn't what happened. The reality they live in is not the same as our own. What can you say? They watch this and this is their conclusion. What are you supposed to say to them? Let's end this shit. Only 2 more left.
KC was talking about how TT is now worthy to be his girlfriend. The way KC was talking about how TT is now worthy to be his girlfriend and she better say yes continues to rub me the wrong way about how he speaks about women and speaks to them. This has been a continuous problem throughout this entire season of Love Island with how KC does these things. And his entitlement and the fact that he feels like he is owed these women's actions, bodies, so on and so forth is just very icky. And I really hope that once he steps out of the villa, he unlearns that quickly. Because at the end of the day, if TT had said no or she wants to say no, that is her right. She does not owe you anything. And that was the same problem with Anaya. Like, you believe that you're owed these things because you do small things, but you don't. You're not owed anything just because you put the minimum amount of effort in. And honestly, that seems like a theme with all these guys. They believe that they're owed, like, the biggest things when they've only given an inch. But what do y'all think? I don't think I'm tripping. I know I'm not, but what do y'all think? The way KC was talking about how TT is now worthy to be his girlfriend and she better say yes,
Him saying she better say yes doesn't mean he's owed her being his girlfriend. He's saying she better say yes because that's a nervous man speaking. I'm about to ask her to be my girlfriend. Oh my God, she better say yes. Obviously, she can say no and there's nothing you can do about it. But good Lord, people. Do you guys have no discretion? Have you guys never been in any of these scenarios? Just because you say they better say yes doesn't mean you believe you're entitled to anything. The same way he never said he's entitled to Anaya's body. He said he wanted more affection. Good Lord. These people are painting this man to be the worst person ever. This hate train is... The show's about to finish. They still despise this man. This video was made yesterday. It's nasty, bro. And last but not least, should I even watch this, bro? This was made a long time ago.
Wondering, damn, if Meg Thee Stallion feels that way, does all of America feel that way about me? For all of us who aren't male-centered, red-pilled losers? Yes. In Casey's mind, he thinks that words don't matter more than actions. So why is everyone mad at me? Why does Meg Thee Stallion not like me? Why are all the girls yelling at me? I didn't do anything. For Casey's stands, y'all think everyone's mad that he recoupled, got with TT, left Anaya. No one cares. At least I don't. I never wanted him and Anaya together. I knew they weren't compatible. KC is a disrespectful, narcissistic loser who needs to grow up.
Do you think she's gonna list an example of any of the disrespectful and narcissistic things Casey has said and done at Casa Amor? Let's find out.
It's behind my door, you feel me? If you bring that up one more motherfucking time, it's embarrassing. I understand that hurts your ego. It would hurt my ego too. But you know what I'm not gonna do? Take it out on people.
No examples. Shocker.
Speak for myself, honestly. I don't like you, Casey, because of the way you spoke about Anaya. During Casa Amor specifically, you did exactly what Meg Thee Stallion
Is there going to be an example once more? We'll see. Let's see.
said. You put one woman down, Anaya, to lift the other woman up, TT. TT allowed you to pounce on her and make out with her within the first hour of meeting her, and Anaya didn't, and you're mad. And so then throughout all of
where was he mad? And once more, there was no example.
Also, you're going, well, if Anaya ain't gonna let me do that shit, she on a thin line. She on thin ice. What? Like you're punishing her. Who do you think you are? I don't know who hyped this man's head up.
He said she's on thin ice because he just got a photo from Casa Amor of her making out with Carl. He's saying she's now on thin ice because she's exhibiting the same behavior she was afraid he would exhibit. So now she can't hold anything over his head. So she's on thin ice. She can't come at him for doing anything here because she's doing the same thing there. That's what he was saying by she's on thin ice. Do these people not watch the show? Jesus Christ. That was literally the scene after he got the postcard of her making out with Carl. And they said, how do you feel about it? He said, I don't care. She's on thin ice though. If we go back and she tries me, I can try her right back. We're doing the same shit. These people aren't watching what you're watching.
Because, you know what? Let me not. It's that red-pilled incel podcast bro bullshit language that I didn't fucking like. And that's why I don't like you. And that's why you ain't winning the show. You think you're somebody that you're not. You think you're owed something that you're not. And for all the KC stans, y'all's issue is that you refuse to criticize this man because you feel like if you do, then you're admitting something to yourself. There can be good pieces about KC, and there can be very bad pieces about KC. And KC, his bad pieces, his flaws are really, really bad. And they do, unfortunately, outweigh the good when it comes to how he views and treats women. I would love to see how y'all respond to a man who spoke that way about your sister, your mother, a woman that you love.
I actually wouldn't say anything at all because he didn't do or say anything inherently disrespectful. What I'd actually tell him is to be more brutally honest up front so none of this would happen down the line. When you lay down your standards or what you're expecting early on, yes, people may not like it because it may seem a bit abrasive, but it saves you a lot more trouble as time passes. That's why Corbin and Sincere are able to get away with the shit they do now because they were exhibiting that behavior from very early on. Casey showed it 17 episodes in, and that's why people treat him the way they do now. Sincere and Corbin have been doing that since episode 5, and that's why I believe they get so much lack. The show is almost done, but man, I don't really understand what's going on right now, bro. Casey is still getting annihilated online, and it's gotten to the point where I think honestly it's went from hatred to fear. They're scared that he's still here, and they're scared that he might win the show, so they're starting to panic. It's pretty obvious that Brittany, is it Brittany? That Trinity and Bryce are gonna win the show. But the fact that Casey is still there, in the back of their minds, they're getting kind of anxious. They're like, fuck, this man might win. We have to up what we were doing a few weeks ago to stoke the flames back to where it was because this man isn't allowed to win. They're literally saying him winning would set a bad precedent. Like, what is going on? This lets you know, KCFC, we may not win, but we got these niggas shook though. We got these niggas shook.